1. Introduction. My name is Vanessa. I was 22 years old when my mother married again. Her new husband was a rich businessman named Robert. Robert had a son, Mike, who was 25 years old. This meant Mike was now my new stepbrother. When I first met Mike, my first thoughts about him were not very good. He seemed cold. He also seemed arrogant. He did not smile very much when we met. It seemed clear that he was not happy about his father's new wife, my mother. And he certainly did not seem happy about me. This made me feel a little uncomfortable from the very beginning. My mother and I moved into their house. It was a very big house. It sat on a hill. Everything about it was large and grand. It was very different from our old apartment, which was small and cozy. This new house felt very quiet. It was also very clean, almost too clean. I felt like a stranger there. It was not my home. It felt intimidating, like a place I did not belong. I walked through the big rooms, and the silence was often heavy. I missed our old life, but I knew this was our new beginning. The first family dinner was very quiet. It was just the four of us, my mother, Robert, Mike, and me. The large dining table felt even bigger with so much space between us. Mike did not speak to me during dinner. He mostly looked at his phone. He did not seem interested in talking to anyone, especially not me. My mother and Robert tried to make conversation, but it was hard. The silence between Mike and me was very clear. It made the dinner feel awkward and long. I tried to eat slowly, hoping the meal would end soon. I felt a strange mix of feelings. Sometimes, during the dinner, I looked at Mike. He was sitting across from me. When I looked at him, my heart started to beat a little faster. This feeling was strange. I did not like this feeling. I knew it was wrong. He was my stepbrother now. We were family. I should not feel this way about him. It was a feeling I tried to push away, but it kept coming back. I tried to focus on my food, on anything else, but his presence was strong. The fast heartbeat surprised me. I hoped no one else could see it or feel it. It was a secret feeling that made me feel confused and a little bit guilty. I wondered if he felt anything, but his face showed nothing. He just looked at his phone. I promised myself I would stop having these thoughts. 2. A small change. Weeks passed slowly in the big house. Mike and I lived under the same roof, but we rarely spoke. The house felt very quiet when we were together. Sometimes we saw each other in the hallway. We just nodded, then walked past. There were no long talks, no easy smiles. It was like a wall of ice stood between us. I often felt like a stranger in his home. We stayed in different parts of the house. The quiet between us was heavy. Then, one morning, something new happened. I was in the kitchen making coffee before class. The smell of fresh coffee filled the air. Suddenly, Mike walked in. He wore only a towel around his waist. I stopped moving. My hands froze on the coffee pot. I did not know what to do. He looked at me and smiled. It was a small smile, but it changed his whole face. "Good morning, Vanessa," he said. His voice was deep and calm, not cold. My face felt hot, turning red. I quickly looked down at my coffee cup. After that morning, things started to change, little by little. The ice between us began to melt. It was not a big change, but it was a start. He did not seem so distant anymore. He started talking to me more often. We had short talks in the kitchen or living room. One day it rained very hard. I was leaving for school. Mike saw me and offered a ride. "Do you need a ride?" he asked. I was surprised. I said yes, and we drove to school. He did this a few more times. These small gestures made a difference. In the evenings, we began spending time together. We watched movies in the living room. Sometimes we talked about the film. Other times we just sat in comfortable silence. It was very different from the first awkward dinner. Now, the silence felt less heavy and more natural. I began to look forward to these evenings. My heart still beat faster when he was near. I tried to tell myself his kindness meant nothing special. He was just being a good stepbrother, polite, but my heart did not listen to my head. My feelings for him were growing stronger. I knew it was wrong to feel this way. But every time he smiled, offered a ride, or sat next to me, it was harder to ignore. The feeling was still there, deep inside me, getting bigger each day. It was a small change, but it felt like a very big one for me. 3. The party. One Friday, Mike's friend planned a party. Mike asked me if I wanted to go with him. I said yes. I felt a little nervous, but also excited to spend more time with him. When we arrived at the party, the house was full of people. The music was very loud, and everyone was laughing and talking. I did not know anyone there. I felt a little lost and out of place. So I stayed close to Mike. He got me a drink, and we found a quiet corner to stand in. We started to talk. We talked for a long time, maybe for hours. Mike told me many things about his life. He spoke about his dreams for the future and about his work. He also told me how he felt lonely after his parents got divorced. It was a sad story. I listened carefully to every word he said. Then it was my turn to talk. I told him about my childhood. I shared how my mother worked very hard to take care of us when I was young. We did not have much money, but we always had each other. It felt good to share these personal things with Mike. He listened to me with kind eyes. We learned a lot about each other that night. Later, when it was time to leave the party, it started to rain outside. It was a cold rain. Mike saw that I was getting wet. He took off his jacket and put it around my shoulders. His jacket was warm and it smelled like him. I felt a warm feeling inside. He was very kind and protective. On the way home, Mike stopped the car. We were near the sea. The waves were big and they crashed loudly against the shore. We just sat there in the car, watching the water. The The sound of the waves was strong. It was a quiet moment, but it felt very important. Mike looked at me. His eyes were soft. He said, "You are different from anyone I have ever met." His words made my heart beat fast. For a short moment, I thought he was going to kiss me. I could feel his breath. My body waited, but he did not. Instead, he looked away. He started the car again. We drove home in silence. The moment was over. I felt confused, but also a new, strong feeling for him. 4 secret feelings. After the party night, my mind was full of thoughts about Mike. I kept thinking about our moment in the car by the sea. His words, "You're different from anyone I've ever met," played again and again in my head. I remembered the way he looked at me. For a second, I truly believed he would kiss me, but he did not. This silence, this almost kiss, stayed with me. It was a secret feeling, growing stronger each day. One evening, I heard my mother talking on the phone. Her voice was low, but I could hear some words. She sounded worried. "Robert's son," she said. "He thinks I only married for money." My heart felt heavy. If Mike thought that about my mother, what did he think about me? Did he believe I was just another person trying to live in his rich world? This thought made me sad. I wanted him to see the true me, not someone who cared about money. I decided I had to show him. I wanted to show everyone. The next day, I made a plan. I would cook a special dinner for the family. I went to the kitchen early. I chose a recipe I knew well, something warm and comforting. I spent many hours cutting vegetables and cooking. The smell of the food filled the big house. I hoped this meal would make everyone happy, especially Mike. I wanted to show them I could do more than just live in their house. Dinner time came. My mother and Robert smiled and said the food was delicious. They praised my cooking. I felt a little proud, but Mike, he said nothing. He ate his food quietly. His silence made me feel disappointed. Did he not like it? Or did he just not care? I tried not to show my feelings, but inside I felt a little hurt. After dinner, everyone went to their rooms. Later that night, I could not sleep. I walked to the balcony. I saw Mike there. He was smoking a cigarette, looking out into the dark garden. I walked closer to him. "You didn't like dinner?" I asked softly. He turned and looked at me. Then a small smile appeared on his face. "I liked it, Vanessa," he said. "I just didn't want to say it in front of them." His words surprised me. We stood there together. The moon was bright above us. We started talking. We talked for a long, long time about many things. Under the soft moonlight, I felt closer to him than I had ever felt before. It was our secret time just for us. 5, a moment in the dark. The night was quiet. I was in my room reading a book. Suddenly, all the lights in the big house went out. Everything became very dark. My heart started to beat fast. I did not like the dark. I felt alone in the quiet house. I stood up slowly. I thought maybe I could find a candle. I needed some light. I walked carefully out of my room. It was hard to see the stairs. Each step felt unsure in the sudden darkness. As I went down, I saw a small light in the living room. It was a flashlight. Mike was standing there. He was looking for something on a table. He turned when he heard me. He saw me in the dim light. "You are scared of the dark?" he asked. He had a small smile on his face. His voice was calm. "A little," I answered. I felt a bit silly, but the darkness was truly big and scary. He held the flashlight in his hand. The light made long shadows dance on the walls around us. He walked closer to me, holding the flashlight. "Here," he said, "you can hold this. Stay close to the light." He offered me the flashlight. As I reached out my hand to take it, our fingers touched. It was a soft touch, but it felt strong. A strange, warm feeling went through my arm. Our eyes met in the dim light. We just stood there for a moment. We did not move. The air around us felt thick and silent. My heart was beating even faster now. It was not from fear of the dark anymore. It was something else. Something new and warm. Mike moved one step closer, then another. He was very near me. I could feel his breath on my face. It was warm. I could smell his scent. My eyes looked at his lips in the faint light. He was so close. I felt like he was going to kiss me. My body felt warm and light. I wanted him to kiss me. This moment in the dark felt special. It felt like a secret between us. No one else was awake in the house. No one else could see us. Only the small light of the flashlight was there, making our faces soft. Then, very suddenly, he moved back. He took a big step away from me. The closeness was gone. My heart felt a cold shock. "We can't do this, Vanessa," he said. His voice was low and serious. "You're my sister now." The word sister hit me hard. It was like a cold wave washing over me. All the warmth left my body. My eyes felt wet. He was right. He was my stepbrother. This feeling, this moment, was wrong. I could not stay there. I turned quickly and ran. I ran up the stairs and into my room. I closed the door softly. I lay on my bed and cried. I cried for a long time in the dark. His words broke my heart into many small pieces. 6. The family holiday. A month passed after the dark night. My mother and Robert planned a family trip. We were going to Italy. They were very happy about it. They talked about old cities and tasty food. But for me, the trip felt different. It was hard to be excited. The air between Mike and me was heavy. After he said, "You're my sister now," everything changed. We did not talk much. We did not watch movies. We avoided looking at each other. This made the idea of a family holiday feel strange. The day came and we flew to Italy. The flight was long. I sat next to my mother and Mike sat a few rows away with Robert. I tried to read a book, but my mind kept going back to Mike. I could feel his presence, even when he was not close. When we arrived, the sun was warm. The hotel was beautiful, with many flowers and a big pool. My mother smiled a lot. Robert looked relaxed, but I still felt the tension inside me. Our rooms at the hotel were next to each other. My room was number 5 and Mike's was number 6. I could hear him sometimes through the wall. This made it even harder to forget what happened. I tried to act normal during the day. I ate dinner with everyone. I went sightseeing. I smiled when my mother spoke to me. But inside, my heart was not calm. Every time Mike looked at me, even for a second, a strange feeling burned inside my chest. It was a mix of hope and sadness. One night, I could not sleep. The bed felt too big and my thoughts were too loud. I got up quietly and went to the balcony. The night air was cool. I looked up at the sky. There were many stars. Then I saw him. Mike was on his balcony, too. His room was right next to mine. He was looking at the stars just like me. "Can't sleep?" he asked softly. His voice was low. I shook my head slowly. "No," I said. We stood there for a few minutes, not speaking. The silence was not bad, not like the silence in the house. This silence felt different, like the old times. "It's a beautiful night," he said. "Yes, it is," I replied. We talked for a long time after that. We talked about the stars, about the quiet town, and about nothing important. It was like we used to talk before. It felt easy for a short time. I forgot about his words, about the power cut, about being sister. It was just Mike and me under the Italian sky. Then I felt tired. I turned to go back inside my room. As I moved, he reached out. His fingers gently touched my hand. It was a light touch, but it felt strong. "Vanessa," he whispered. His voice was very soft. "If things were different," he stopped. He did not finish his sentence. I waited, but he said nothing more. His hand left mine. He just walked away from his balcony door, back into his room. I stood there alone under the stars. His words echoed in my mind. If things were different, what did he mean? My heart ached. I felt more confused and hurt than before. The holiday was supposed to be fun, but it only brought more difficult feelings. I went back to my room, but sleep still did not come. 7. The truth. The family came home after the trip to Italy. Vanessa felt a deep sadness inside her. She knew she could not live with her feelings for Mike any longer. To protect her heart, she decided to keep her distance from him. She started to avoid him. There were no more dinners together, no more movie nights, and no more long talks. If he was in the kitchen, she would wait until he left. If he sat in the living room, she would go to her own room. It was hard for her to do this, and it hurt her too. But she believed it was the only way to stop her feelings from growing stronger. She could not be around him without wanting more. The house felt bigger and emptier now, even though they lived in the same place. Her mother soon noticed the change. One afternoon, she came to Vanessa's room. "Vanessa, is everything okay?" she asked, her face full of worry. "You and Mike seem very quiet these days. Are you two fighting?" Vanessa shook her head. "No, Mom. I'm just busy with school and other things." She tried to sound normal, but her mother still looked worried. Mike also noticed. He looked confused and sometimes a little sad. He tried to talk to her a few times, asking about her day, but Vanessa gave short answers and quickly walked away. She could feel his eyes on her, and it made her heart ache. She knew she was hurting him, but she felt she had no choice. One evening, as Vanessa sat in her room, the door opened softly. Mike stood there. His face looked tired and serious. "We need to talk," he said. Vanessa's heart began to beat very fast. She knew this moment would come, but she was not ready. She looked into his eyes. "Why are you ignoring me?" he asked again. His voice was soft but firm. Tears came to Vanessa's eyes. She took a deep breath. The truth had to come out. "Because I love you, Mike," she said. The words came out quickly, a mix of pain and relief. "I have tried not to. I tried to stop these feelings, but I cannot. I truly love you." He did not move. He did not speak. The silence in the room was heavy, like a large stone. Vanessa watched his face, looking for any sign, any emotion. But there was nothing, only silence. It felt like a very long time passed, maybe 1 minute, maybe more. Her heart felt like it would break from the waiting. Then he moved slightly. He looked down at the floor, then up at her. His voice was a soft whisper, almost too quiet to hear. "You shouldn't have told me that," he said. He turned around and walked out. The door closed softly behind him. Vanessa was left alone in the quiet room. Her heart was broken, but at least the truth was finally out. 8. His goodbye. The next morning I woke up. I went to Mike's room. It was empty. All his things were gone. His bed was neatly made. His closet doors were open, showing nothing inside. I felt cold inside. My mother came to me. She said Mike had moved to another city for a new job. He left very early that morning. I did not see him go. I stood there, feeling like a part of my heart was gone too. I could not believe he had left without a word to me after what I had told him. The house felt too big and too quiet. I missed him already, even though he had only been gone for a few hours. Days passed slowly. Then weeks turned into months. I tried to forget him. I went to my classes. I helped my mother. But every day I thought about Mike. I thought about his quiet smile, his kind eyes, and the way he made me feel. One evening, I found a letter in the mail. It was from Mike. My hands shook as I opened it. I read his words. He wrote that I was a very special person. He said that a love between us would hurt our family too much. He hoped I would understand his choice one day. He told me to take care of myself. I read the letter many times. Tears fell onto the paper. His words hurt me deeply, but I understood his reasons. He wanted to protect his father and my mother. He wanted to protect the family that we had just started to build. It was a hard truth to accept. Years went by after that. I finished my university studies. I found a good job. I moved into my own apartment. I made new friends. My life moved forward, but I never forgot Mike. Sometimes, when it rained, I remembered the night at the sea. I remembered his jacket around my shoulders. I remembered the waves and the silence in the car. I never told anyone about our secret feelings. Mike was the man I loved but could not have. His goodbye taught me a big lesson. Some loves, no matter how strong, are not meant to be.